Welcome to another exciting episode of the Bionic Water-colourist. And I welcome you to a new episode. This is getting going. And what we're doing is we're doing the quarantine survival kit. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at different types of things you may have around the house. And so this is what we're going to use to talk about different products. Here's my magic box. Now, this box is basically full of stuff that I went through when I was, basically when we moved, we cleaned up and we threw every pen that we had in a box. And then that box, basically we went through and sorted them. So here is your average bag of Sharpies. Now, we can actually get, some pretty neat colors out of this. So this is not useless for what we're trying to do, which is is to have some materials together. Now, you may or may not, depending on where you live and stuff, have access to different materials. So what I thought is we'd go through a set of different things that you may or may not have at home and what we can use and some of the projects that I'll set up so that we can use these things and sort of use them as a necessity. So we got pens. We got more pens. So we got different kinds of Sharpies. We got different kinds of colors. Now these are all thick, big ones, and little ones. So we have the Sharpies. We have more Sharpies. Now these ones are all the different colors. Now I got these as a gift and I use them once in a while. These are great. You have basically every color under the sun. And so if you have something like this or a collection of, smelly ones or whatever, certainly use that. What I wanted to talk to you now was pencils. So all of these are writing pencils. Now we have two kinds. We have the red ones and the blue ones. And these come from different sets. The blue ones are, they're from Michael's. And I can't remember where the red ones come from. But I can't remember where I got them, but they're different sets. So basically we have two sets or two different numbers of different kinds of leads. So you may or may not have a set of pencils around. If you don't have a set of pencils around, you absolutely have to have a carpenter's pencil, maybe a rarity, but a regular HB pencil is what you need. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you this. And we'll just get this so you can read it. So when we go down the list of, we've got the 2H, we've got the H, we've got the H, we've got the HB, 2B, 3B, 4B, 5B, 6B, and then the carpenter pencil. These are all various degrees of, if you want to call them, graphite. They're not made of lead. They're made of graphite and a clay that holds them together. But this one, right here, is the standard pencil. And as you can see from the way that this is, you know, not bad. You've got lighter ones here, and then you've got darker ones here. If you take a look at this carpenter's pencil, which you can get at almost any hardware store, should have these things. These are great for shading and stuff when you're doing your penciling. This in a regular pencil. So we'll take the HB and those two, and you pretty well got a pretty wicked set of pencils that you can make some things with. So we're going to use this, and we're going to do a couple of drawings and stuff. Onward and upward. So we got that. And then we get into, you know, some of the more exciting things. We have, as you can see, I have more Sharpies, but I also have other kinds of felt pens. As you can see, I got other ones here. So go around the house and scour up every single pen you have, and you'd be surprised at how many pens you have sitting around at home. You know, this is another set right here. And you can basically get this at some of the art stores. I don't know if you can get it at some of the brand name stores. But these are expensive, but these are really good too. And these last forever. So, you know, a lot of my stuff I built up over the million years I've been doing this. And I just never throw anything out unless it doesn't work anymore. You know, there's no sense in keeping an old pen if it doesn't work. Throw it out. Get rid of it. We've got some more. Now, this is interesting. We're going to get into this one. So, these are watercolor pencils. Now, you may or may not have these. These are more of a specialty item. And you kind of use these with water and watercolor paper. And you can make kind of like a watercolor effect. In my opinion, these don't work as good as watercolors, and I like watercolors. So these things are okay. I've painted with them. I've used them. They work pretty good. You know, I can't complain. But they're not real watercolors. And then we get into some other fun stuff. Now, everybody has got one of these. Well, maybe not. This was a special set of pencil crayons that a friend of mine sent me when I was in the hospital. And these things are great. And, you know, you say, oh, well, I can't afford these things, or, you know, I can't find them, or I don't have an art and craft store nearby. Well, everybody has got these. So we're going to make we're going to do a project using these. These are the same basically as the ones that I showed you, but you know, they're a little fancier and they're probably a whole lot more expensive. So if you have these, you're in business. So this is a nice thing. Find them. If you got them around the house, pull them out. We're going to use them. Now, last but not least, we have basic watercolors. Now, most of the box stores sell these things. And, you know, pretty simple, pretty easy. And these ones actually hold fairly good selection of colors. You know, with a palette like that, you can do a lot of good painting. Now, I just wanted to show you that there's also the other one. Now, these things, the smaller kit here, are actually better in the respect that you get a chance to mix your colors. And when you have limited number of colors, mixing your colors is always a fun thing because you get to learn your colors and you get to learn what mixes with what, and you know, and that's mixing. And then what you do, of course, is you put all your stuff on this side. You mix up your color that you want to use. And then another thing that you can get is this, which is basically, you can buy them, some are round, some are, but you don't even have to buy one of these things. You can use old Yop cups, or you can use old yogurt cups, or, you know, there's so many different things that are packaged in little white cups that's all you need. And then you goop some of your stuff, get it all wet, goop some of your stuff into the little container, and then you're in business. You mix your colors separately, and away you go. As you can see on this one, I had some colors in there. So, you know, these paints are good. You don't have to go out and spend a fortune to get started with all these different products out there. Now, I want to just show you this. I pulled this out earlier. That painting right there. Now, that's not the original. That's a postcard that I had made of it. But that painting was made with that set of paints. Now, in a later episode, we're going to deal with my real palette and what I use for my paintings. But I also painted some of these just to prove that they can be done and they can look really good using a fairly inexpensive set. And they don't necessarily have to be these ones. They can come from a different store. As long as they're watercolors and they come in a pack, you're in business. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. And that concludes the first episode of the Bionic Water-colourist. And I hope that in this emergency survival kit, you're going to be able to find something that we can continue with a project on. In the meantime, I'd like to thank you for your time, and I'd like to hope that things at home with this self-quarantine are going well, and I wish you all the best and stay safe.